Welcome back to another episode of TheWorryWartGamer. Today we are going to talk about something that doesn't matter. Sales don't matter. Making a product and having people buy it, that doesn't matter anymore apparently. However, there is a report that the PlayStation 5 is outselling the Xbox Series X and S at a greater clip than the PS4 outsold the Xbox One. And we all know how incredible the PS4's success was last generation, so we'll go through this article and then we'll talk about why it matters. According to the latest Ampere analysis, the gap between the number of PlayStation 5s and Xbox consoles sold, I should do this in like an announcer's voice, shouldn't I? Hold on. According to the latest Ampere analysis, the gap between the number of PlayStation 5 and Xbox consoles sold is bigger than we initially thought. The popular analysis firm estimates that Sony has sold 21 million PS5 units, 21.7 million to be precise, while Microsoft's Xbox Series X and S is at 13.8 million units sold. These numbers mean that PS5 is outselling Xbox Series X and S by a ratio of almost 2-1. For reference, PlayStation 4 was outselling Xbox One by a ratio of 1.4-1 by this time after launch. Piers Harding-Rolls, research director at Ampere Analysis, also commented on the recent PS5 price increase hike. Price increase hike? What? There is no doubt that this price increase will have been a hard decision to make. That was a quote from Piers Harding-Rolls. According to Piers, the PS5 price hike won't have any negative effect on sales. I combined the words impact and effect right there and completely fucked up. Quote from Piers. While we believe there will be disappointment for some consumers, that have been trying to buy a PS5 without success, or that were saving to buy the console just in time for the price increase, the high pent-up demand for Sony's device means this price increase of around 10% across most markets will have minimal impact on sales of the console. Quote, this is Piers again quoting. We expect Sony's sales forecast for the PS5 to remain unchanged. In other news, Sony is persisting with its sales forecast of selling 18 million PS5 units between April 2022 and March 2023. That means they are on track to ship and sell 15.6 million units between July 1st, 2022 and March 31st, 2023. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, why is this a big deal? Well, these are numbers before the price increase, so many of you think that it will affect the sales of the PlayStation 5. This research firm seems to think that it won't. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think that it will if PlayStation 5s are on shelves, and especially, why did I have a hard time with the word shelf right there? If they're on store shelves, and especially with God of War and great content sitting there, console gamers are going to buy it. Notice I said console gamers. This is why it's very important, if you're going to make a product, to actually have it sell. Yes, being everywhere is great, but if you have a product, you want those consumers who buy that product. That's why Microsoft wants Game Pass to take off, because they cannot get the audience that buys PlayStation or Nintendo to migrate at a large enough clip for them to make money and to be successful with their console. They haven't made content that can stand up to what PlayStation does or what Nintendo does, and they want that audience to migrate. The audience won't migrate if they keep making great games on PlayStation and on Nintendo. That's why it's important to sell a box. That's why Microsoft wants to get away from boxes, because that audience of around 400 to 450 million people every generation, every console generation between three systems, if you add them all up, you're somewhere between 300 and 400 and some change million consumers every generation that buy just boxes called consoles. Microsoft doesn't want those people to stay on those boxes. They want them to come over and be in this garden where everyone can play together as long as you walk through the little veranda opening into the garden that says Windows. So it's all about control, just like it is with PlayStation. Of course it is. You've got to make great content, and you've got to sell a box. If the Xbox Series X and S are being outsold this early on at a greater rate than the Xbox One was by the PlayStation 4, that's not a good sign going forward if you're selling a box. So Microsoft may be the first one to get away from selling a box. Nintendo's always going to sell that toy that you take home, That's why I love Nintendo. I don't think PlayStation needs to do anything at this point. The price hike is bad PR. I understand why it happened. I know many of you don't, or you don't care to understand why it happened. But this information is telling people want PlayStations. When they're on shelves, they buy them. Is a 10% increase going to stop them? We're going to have to wait and see. But either way, you got to make content. You've got to have content for your box, and the box has to sell. It is important. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I don't know why I did that.